Hey guys, this is Frank Mir, and you're watching ShowMeYourJits.com.
Thanks for everybody being patient, going through the workout stuff. I appreciate it. Not bad here at the gym and stuff. I think my wife has set this all up for me. I've done absolutely no part of any of this. And Tony also being here, and all the other guys supporting me and stuff, coming up here and helping out, making the gym what it is in a really short time. So I guess we'll just open up for any questions.
Frank, the big story going into the last fight was the physical transformation, the strength and conditioning work you were doing. Can you give us an update on that? Is there more mass, leaner? What's going the physical shape like?
Well, I'm getting stronger in every workout. I feel the difference in that at Philippines. All the difference is I guess everybody has a genetic limit to how much weight they can really put on. I think at first I grew really quickly just due to the fact that I mean when I showed up at 245 to 255 for all my fights previously in the last 8 years, that's with absolutely no weight training. So I kind of just had a genetic gift, and all of a sudden, a little bit of weight training, it was a spurt. But I've kind of plateaued off. I don't really think I'm going to get much bigger. But strength-wise, yeah, tendons and nervous system and stuff. And the one attribute that I really feel is increasing most is actually my speed. I've never felt quicker. I've actually been sparring with people and feeling very, very fast. Well, not with Sean, but everybody else I feel pretty fast with.
Right. And this is I think the quickest turnaround of your career as far as back-to-back fights. Was that just by chance, or was that something that you wanted to get back in right away? And is that an advantage or disadvantage to you?
I think it's a huge advantage to keep fighting consistently. I think that all fighters and all athletes see that. I've now realized a gift. My father, my wife's been saying that for the last couple of years, but I think that when you take 3 or 4 months to get ready for a fight, you overtrain. I think that you train too much, or you take too much time off and you get out of shape. I think by getting fights that are consistently closer together, you're always in decent shape, so you can train smart and effective with quality training in the gym. Otherwise, you get stagnant. Who wants to be in the gym for 4 months with no payoff? No fights. I'm a fighter. I want to be in the arena competing. So then all of a sudden you get scared because you're not fighting, and you spend too much time in the gym. I've had the curse and the pleasure of being friends with Forrest Griffin and realizing that he's the only one who can train like that and do like that. So I've learned to come on my own about how to approach training.
When you look at Shane, is he the strongest wrestler you've ever faced in your career? And are you okay on the bottom? Is that a bad position for you, or is that a good position for you?
Obviously, Robert Dreisel, my jiu-jitsu coach, will work on improving the being on the bottom. But Mike Whitehead and stuff, you see me working with him. I'm trying to work and improve in areas to get the fight back up to my feet and avoid being taken out in the first place. I really feel that I have a huge advantage on my feet now, as far as all the other heavyweights. I see guys out there that they're good strikers, but I don't think anybody has fallen in love with the ability to throw punches, I think, the correct way as I have. I think it's accumulation of both technique and just opportunity, and genetically just kind of gifted with certain attributes. You see other heavyweights as bravado. We're going to stand toe to toe, and it's going to be we're going to throw the nuclear missiles, and whoever's still here standing's a man. I don't have that kind of mentality. I really rather if I can poke you in the back and run off and you die 3 days later, or pass away 3 days later. Everyone knows what I meant, right? I was making a joke about the Chinese philosophy stuff.
Yeah. Strike that last comment.
So that's more or less my mental approach, just being a good strategist. I think you see that when I fought Nogueira, I didn't fall in love with the fact of wanting to stand in front of him and prove that, I hit harder than you and who has a better chin. I have no problem moving backwards and throwing strikes. So I really think, when I watch boxing, I'm a huge fan. Obviously Pacquiao is an amazing fighter, but if I had to beat anybody, I'd want to be like Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker type, That's why I'm, tickled, ecstatic about the fact that, James Toney, I've always been a huge fan. I like that kind of boxing. I've liked Lennox Lewis. I don't really think that, standing in front of somebody is an awesome thing. So that being said, I feel comfortable on my back, but I feel much more comfortable on my feet.
Did you see holes in Carwin's game whenever he fought Gonzaga? Did Gonzaga bring the wrong game plan? Did you learn anything from that fight?
Yeah, I've learned I have a lot of respect for Carwin. Everybody keeps saying, he's only fought, his 11 fights, he hasn't been to the third minute of a fight, which, but that's what he should be doing with his opponents at his level, for the caliber fighter that he really is. But the one question a lot of people always have, especially heavyweights, typically big guys are front runners. In a heavyweight match, whoever's winning the first 2 minutes is pretty much going to win the fight. You don't really see a lot of turnaround a lot. Typically, that's what I think made Randy Couture the man that he was. You can kill him destroy him for 4 rounds, and in the 5th round, he come back and win the fight. So that fight with Carwin and Gonzaga, I actually had the pleasure of being there, and I was sitting by the cage, and I got to see, Carwin was in trouble. He went out there, his footwork wasn't the greatest. He kind of ran after Gonzaga, and that's a mistake. Everybody, it's funny. Everybody goes, Carwin hits hard. I'm like, bro, if you don't hit hard when you're 260 pounds, that's something to write about. That's like saying, oh man, he's really quick. I'm like, he's 135 pounds. If he wasn't quick, we'd have some issues. He wouldn't fight. You hit hard with 4-ounce gloves when you're that big. But so he chased after Gonzaga, and he made a little bit of a tactical mistake and got caught. But the thing that impressed me the most, that you can't teach really, it takes a long time to develop, was he was in trouble in that fight, ended up on his back, was covered by Gonzaga. He was a world-class fighter. He was a black belt in jiu-jitsu. A lot of people don't want to be on the bottom of Gonzaga. And he was able to get the fight back up to his feet and turn around and landed a nice shot to win the fight. So really showcased a lot of his mentality, that he's not somebody that just because you're putting him away early doesn't mean he's not going to try to come back.
You mentioned that he hasn't been past, to the third minute of 11 fights. Is there a lot of material that you can actually watch and learn from, or is it limited? Is there a lot of mystery about this guy?
No, there's a lot of mystery about him. As far as, it's an advantage, I feel, on March 27th, once we enter the octagon, that he hasn't been in the third minute of a single fight, for me. As far as preparation for that fight, I think it's a disadvantage for me that I haven't seen a lot of footage on him. I mean, everybody wants that footage on their opponents. I mean, we all know what happened in football in New England. There's a reason why you want to see what the other teams